Hello. So we're continuing on looking at our With Grace, Grit, and Gumption hashtag, which is something I started sending Emma, my daughter, several years ago. And today we're going to look at gumption. Now, I didn't really use this word or never really thought much about gumption until I saw the movie The Holiday. And if you've seen this movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So we meet Iris, which is Kate Winslet's character, and she is trying to get over a dysfunctional and bad relationship with Jasper. We don't know what happened, but through the course of the early part of the movie, we see her just pining for him and just tearing herself up, trying to figure out, what did she do wrong? Did she misinterpret this relationship? She's just, beating herself up that she did something wrong and she doesn't know what she did. But Jasper keeps her close. He flirts with her. He still, texts her and acts as though he needs her help. All the while, he's engaged to another woman. So eventually, Iris decides to go to the U.S., and you just need to go watch this movie, but she goes to the U.S. to try to get over Jasper. And she meets a neighbor where she's staying, an older gentleman who she develops a friendship with. And he introduces her to old movies and the memory of his deceased wife and the word gumption. So later, Jasper shocks Iris and flies over to the U.S., finds her. And she's once again finding herself confused and manipulated. And she's literally about to kiss this still married man when she grasps gumption for herself. Now, her monologue in this scene is one of my all-time favorite scenes in a movie. She gets the instant combination of courage and confidence and determination and initiative to somehow be done with the twisted, toxic thing of this relationship with Jasper. She gets the gumption to do what's right for her and for her life, moving past the emotions of self-doubt straight into self-belief. Now, what's fun is we actually get to see other characters' own experience with their version of gumption. So Amanda gets gumption after she cries in the car and she's about to take some initiative on something else, and I won't spoil it for you. And Arthur has his own version of gumption when he's going to go attend an event at the end of the movie that he thinks is going to be very embarrassing and dismissive and deflating. So it's really fun to see all of these versions, and gumption is all throughout this movie. So as we've discussed, grace empowers. It is sufficient. It is sustaining. As Jesus followers, it offers that which we need that we don't actually have on our own. It's steady. It's supportive. It's nurturing. It's God reaching down to our flaws and failures and imperfections and filling in the gap with His strength and His love and His provision. Because we can't earn, He freely gives. And godly grit endures. It remains steadfast under pressure. It perseveres through difficulty without giving up. It helps us hold firm to our faith, especially when it feels like nobody else is walking alongside of us. It is grounded and it's resilient. It's trusting God in the long haul when the road is quiet, slow, and maybe even painful. Now, godly gumption emboldens. As I mentioned with Iris, it's the confidence and the determination and the initiative to take a step forward, believing in oneself. Now, existing in the world around us and the culture around us, sometimes this word gumption can be misunderstood and mishandled. It can even put us on a very self-centered and destructive and even dangerous path. But godly gumption gives us the boldness to do what He reveals to us as His will and what is best for us in our lives, especially when our emotions and our feelings get in the way. Godly gumption ignites courage. It stirs bravery in the midst of fear. It is strong and fearless. It is daring. It is the Holy Spirit lighting a fire in us to move forward boldly. It gives us the courage to speak up, to stand out, and to step forward regardless of what is going on around us and regardless of how we feel. Godly gumption is fueled by the Holy Spirit, and it can overcome fear. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love and of power and of a sound mind." Godly gumption reminds us that God is always with us, no matter how we feel. Joshua 1:9, quoted this before, says, "This is my command, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go." Godly gumption is not about qualification either. It's about who we belong to and who we are trying to become more like. Acts 4:13 says, "When they saw the courage of Peter and John and realized that they were unschooled, ordinary men, they were astonished, and they took note that these men had been with Jesus." And godly grit comes from being in right relationship with God. Proverbs 28:1 says, "The wicked flee when no one is pursuing, but the righteous are bold as a lion." In Ephesians 6:19 and 20, Paul prays for boldness, for gumption, as he is speaking about the gospel. This week, I am challenging us to pray for godly gumption. Gumption that is fueled by the Holy Spirit and rooted in wisdom. I pray we seek the Holy Spirit for that wisdom as we ask for that boldness and courage and initiative needed in our own personal stories. Not just in ways that sound good or sound exciting or feel good to us, but in ways that will reflect Jesus and therefore change the world around us. And I pray that we are emboldened to take another step forward with confidence and conviction toward the person that God created us to be. Thanks for being on this journey with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day.